Right quick, I'd like to thank my patrons for supporting my channel and all the content that I make. If you would like to help support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon in the description below. Over there, I tell short stories complete with audio special effects. My Instagram is also down there if you're curious. Now, let's get right into the build. Alrighty, let's get into it. So, the Secura Dual Cestra, or Secura Dual Cestra. Let's take a look at the comparison. Right, let's see what the regular Dual Cestra is like. Much worse. And the Singular Cestra is even worse than that. These Secura Cestras are supposed to be the upgrade. Now, granted, we have an amazing status chance, but that crit chance and crit damage are awful. Absolutely awful. Oh, man. So what I'm going to show you is just a build for anybody to use, to play around with in here. But, look, guys, I don't know how to tell you. You're gonna need a Riven. Because, you could do... Oh, yeah, the Archon charge, by the way, are insignificant to this build. You could go ahead and build around it like I did with the Ether Reaper, but, I mean, that's up to you. If you want to use Roar or not, or Nourish, Zata's Whisper, but the setup I have here is very purposeful. A 3.5 second reload is unacceptable. So I'm getting my damage from Galvanized Shot, Secondary Cucumber. I have Deep Freeze, so that way I have heavier weight on Blast, which is extremely necessary. And Steady Hands because the recoil is atrocious. And of course, you know, Corrosive and Blast. The Arcanes, the Pistolier for obvious reasons, Bullet Hose Time, and Arcane Precision. That comes in clutch. But keep this in mind. Okay, 300 extra damage. On headshot. This is all but guaranteed with all the multi-shot and fire rate. And this, by the way, her reservoir, only gun-wise, affects your fire rate. Yeah, that's when I was close up. Look at this. Not even but a few feet away, and the accuracy is so terrible. Even with terminal velocity, it's not going to do that much. I'll show you a comparison later. But I really tried with this, guys. I really tried with this. Now, they are fun. Don't get me wrong, they are fun to use. But they're just not very steel path viable. They're really, really not. If you do want to build these, just for the fun of it, you're gonna have to put a lot into it. And there's not a lot of mod space to work with based on what you need to get it done. It's just... it takes so much work. And the mods that I have in there are very purposeful. Like I said, you know, I got the Deep Freeze in there for the weighting and the reload speed and all of that. But this Riven helps out a lot. And it's not a Growl either. It's not crit chance, crit damage, and multi-shot, or a whole bunch of extra damage. What it is a utilitarian Riven. That is why I have Prime Target Cracker, because it not only takes the space of my reload speed mod, but a cold mod, further increasing the weighting of Blast, which is necessary. Now, we still do desperately need fire rate, and that's why I was using her reservoir. The more fire rate you have, the better, especially with the 12 seconds of infinite ammo. Now, it doesn't seem like Prime Target Cracker would do a lot because it only puts it to 3, but from 1.6 to 3.4 is a lot. Also, Pistol Elementalist is very much needed. You know, it helps a lot with the Blast. And it's good, but you need a good fire. You need a really good fire rate and a high one at that. You need exceptional reload speed so that way it doesn't feel awful to use. You need so much damage to get it to work right. It's just so much. You have to deal with the recoil as well. It has a lot of problems. I mean, if you used Horror, sure. You know, if you used Horror and you had a Riven, you're gonna have a good time. You could probably make the most of it without a Riven, if you use Horror. Or if you use, you know, Sardin, whatever. This, I tried really hard just to have it self-contained, and with this Riven, it is workable in Steel Path. But unless, like I said, you want to put all of the effort into it and use your Warframe just for that secondary, I know a lot of people wouldn't want to, and a Riven is far less invasive. You don't have to subsume, you don't have to do a Warframe, and what I just showed you, the Riven, the Grox, and switching the Arcane Precision for Arcane Avenger, all of this is to show you how much better these are in terms of viability. Look at that. That's without the bonus fire rate from Reservoir, and that is without the extra 300% bonus damage. And they're already doing better, with far less damage per shot and far less fire rate. And they're far more accurate. Look at that. Far, far more accurate. Now let's go ahead and slap on Precision and pump up the fire rate with the same stuff. And granted, yes, this is crit damage and multi-shot and toxin, but the difference is it doesn't need as much help as the Cestras. It does still need a lot, but even these don't need as much help as even the best version of the Secura Dual Cestras, which is better all in all. Now, like I said, it is fun. You know, you get a Riven, run through Steel Path with the Secura Dual Cestras, and you're gonna have a good time. It is a good, fun time. And that is important. It's important for the game. If you're not having fun, what is the point, right? So, if you love the Dual Cestras that much, I highly suggest, you know, like I love the Groks, I highly suggest putting all of your effort into the Secura Dual Cestras, because they are the best, and getting a Riven. They're super cheap, and doing your best, just having a good time. But if you want dual machine pistols or SMGs, whatever you want to call them, that will rip everything apart, and that's going to be your main damage dealer, and you have some other primary for whatever other purposes, and maybe you don't like having a melee weapon, right? You just want to dual-wield SMGs and rip through the whole game. The Twin Grakatas are it. If you have a better, more effective, and as self-contained as it can be Secura Dual Cestra build, please link it in the description below if you made a video, or type out in the comments what different mods you would switch out for the build that I have, because I do want these to be good, and I just don't know what else I can do with them other than filling them with Horror's red crit steroids, or using Wisp to buff their fire rate to infinity, or any of the other buffer frames. I don't know what to do without having to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and say, if you have or make a video with a better Dual Cestra build, building it out as much as you can without having a Warframe buffer, so, you know, the arcanes of the Warframe and all the mods and the arcane for the Secura Cestra, like, show what that can do, your better build, and then also show that plus whatever buffer frame you have on it, because I really would like to use these and take them very far. Because, like I said, they are very fun. If you've not made a video, or you can't, I would also like to see suggestions of the mods or methods that you would swap out or change to get more damage out of them. And you can go ahead and leave that in the comments below. I just could not get that type of damage without a Riven, so it would be much appreciated. And plus, it's kind of like all of us working together to make this fun gun into something truly spectacular. With that said, I hope you have a good day, a good night, and may RNG be in your favor.